All right, welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm David.
And I'm Gary.
Easy for me to say, and
Yes,
that's Gary. He's twice as nice for half the price.
that's right.
Yeah, that's okay. People like salty too.
That's right. You want twice
And
as sour for about an hour? You got David.
that's sour. I'm salty. There's a difference.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
totally different. I'm not bitter. Well, on some things I am.
I was going
Definitely
to say,
salty.
be careful where you're going down that path.
Yeah, well, election interference and stolen elections. I'm still bitter about that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
so
yes.
So apparently Donald and Vlad are having a little bit of a tiff.
Oh, little quarrel, little lovers quarrel, aren't they?
Yes.
Boys. Can't we all just get along?
But they're both alphas with their emotions and control.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, it's just funny because Trump's been rage texting on his little social media platform, uh, and Russia dismissed Trump's criticism of Putin, basically saying that Trump's comments were due to emotional overload because
That's just
of
amazing.
uncertainty over the status of negotiations. Just like, I mean, what a slap across the chops. It's like, oh, he's just being a little emotional crybaby. Let's read between the lines. Yes. Dave is like the salty side of the saltine cracker.
Yes. It's
Just,
got
it's
just the right amount of salt to give you some flavor and some texture. A flavor enhancer. So yeah, Trump apparently I imagine that Nobel Peace Prize is nowhere near happening anytime soon.
that gets down to the core of why he wants this. There's two things. He wants the Nobel Peace Prize because Obama got one and he doesn't have one. And he wants to be able to grift and make all sorts of money by partnering with Putin and mining rare earth minerals and building stuff. It comes down to that. So, and then Trump was quoted saying, "What Vladimir Putin doesn't realize that if it weren't for me, lots of really bad things would already have happened to Russia, and I mean really bad. He's playing with fire, wand energy, baby."
Yeah, really bad. So let's
Yeah.
find out what those bad things are.
For entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, why don't you read on your who do you want to read on? Do you want to read on the nice Vladimir Putin or the super sweet Donald J.
I
Trump?
want to read on Vladimir. I'm kind of drawn to that.
What Comrade Putin thinks of Comrade Trump.
Yes, so for entertainment purposes only. Trump was having a bad day. He was emotionally. He was probably hangry. They probably hadn't fed him his McDonald's yet. So what's Putin thinking? Because on one hand, Trump's saying to Putin that you'd be in a lot of trouble if it weren't for me, and on the other hand, Putin's saying, "Yeah, well, you're just being a crybaby." I mean, let's read between the lines. That's really what he is saying. Okay, a foundation of the reading is the King of Wands. You know what? I'm in charge. I'm the one that's taking the decisive actions. I'm winning this war, and I'm going to get what I want. You're just a little lizard standing next to me. This is how I see myself. This is how I see God.
It's kind of like not David, but more lizard, reptilian.
Yes. Yeah. The challenge is the Knight of Cups. That is that false friend. Yeah. At the same time, he's got to keep pretending that he's on Donald's side. He's not quite free and clear of Trump being a useful idiot, but he's getting close. Underneath it, you got the Two of Cups. Oh, we could probably just get along a little bit better. We could get through this relationship. Let's have a cocktail together.
I'm getting daddy energy here.
Yeah, I got to take care of my kid. He's having a tantrum. Don't worry. Everything. Don't get emotional. Everything will be just fine. Getting a lot of cups cards here.
Exactly.
In the past, you got the Six of Wands. Like I said, with the King of Wands, Putin thinks he's winning this damn war.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe because Russia's got their propaganda machine, Ukraine has theirs. The fact of the matter is, Russia has not taken Kyiv. They have not taken over the country, and that's the easy part. The occupation is the hard part, and they're not nowhere near taking over Ukraine. But Putin thinks he's winning this thing.
And they throw enough bodies at it. But of
Yeah.
course, he's also hearing what his generals are telling him, right?
Exactly. Current energy is the Page of Pentacles. This is, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier. One of the reasons why Donald's really pissed off is because he wants his Nobel Peace Prize and he wants to develop Ukraine and Russia and all these other stuff, make a whole bunch of money. And Putin's holding all the cards. Putin's holding that up. Oh, this is what you want, Donald? Oh, look at that. So pretty. I hope you get it one day. Overarching energy is the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, we can make a whole lot of money together if you just give me what I want. Give me my victory. I've got all the wealth, and I know you want it. The lesson to be learned is the Hangman. Maybe Trump needs to look at this from a different perspective, or Vladimir's looking at this war from a different perspective than other people, and he might not be happy. If he does that, he might not be happy in the position he's in. But right now, Vladimir's looking at this completely different than Trump. I guess that goes without saying, right? It could also be since we're looking at Trump, he may be looking at Trump in a different way too. He knows he's an idiot. He knows he's been a useful idiot. Maybe Trump's not as useful as he once was. That's no surprise. And the outcome is the Eight of Cups, just emotionally walking away. He's just going to ignore him. It's at the end of the day, Putin thinks he's winning. He's going to he's got the prize. He wants his prize, and he wants to live the good life and bring Mother Russia back to prosperity.
Back to the Soviet Union.
Yes.
Certainly on one front, he is causing all sorts of mayhem in the West. Mm-hmm. Democracy is under assault. The United States is weaker than it's ever been, and fighting with allies, and that part of his plan worked like a charm.
Yep.
All right, so you've looked at how Putin is viewing Trump. Let's see what Trump is seeing with Vlad. What do we got going on here? Why doesn't my daddy love me? I give him everything. He's supposed to be nice to me. Cross the Fool card.
You think maybe he's starting to realize that he's being a useful fool?
There's something.
He thinks Putin's being a fool.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. We had his all tweets. His Putin gone crazy, and Macron basically said, yeah, Trump's starting to figure it out. So the allies are trying to gently shove Donald Trump into the reality that he's being duped and used, and he should bring Putin down because of it. Get Donald angry and then turn him loose on it. What does Donald think of Putin here? They had that great relationship here, but it's like a new, different relationship that they've got now. The relationship they had before is no longer there. There's a new relationship, and it's preventing. It's a destructive nature here. Something ended quickly. It's almost like it could very well be that Trump is getting a sudden realization that this never existed. Yeah. And this may send Trump on a new path.
Yep.
In the past, being overly emotional.
Yes.
Because you can't control everything. And now, current situation, heartbreak and betrayal. Trump, there's things that Trump wants. Mm-hmm. He's being made fun of and mocked. And from daddy, no less, his boyfriend. And now, That's not good. This could be an ugly breakup between the two of them. There's next steps coming up here. I think Trump is trying to think of either how does he reconcile with Putin, or how does he get even with Putin. Lesson we learned: Ten of Swords. These are horrific cards. Three of Swords, Ten of Swords, the Tower card, New Journey. Trump may be more upset with Putin than we realize. He may be. Now, nothing is ever final with Donald Trump because everything's transactional. But right now, there is a feeling of finality between the relationship between these two men.
Those are really upbeat, positive cards.
Yeah, and then you got the the outcome is Six of Swords, the moving away, the creating distance between the two of them. Maybe Trump is being overly emotional, and you need to be more in your swords energy. But you got three different swords cards here. There's going to be a definite cooling of relationships between these two men, and it looks like Trump's going to start distancing himself from Putin. There's just an absolute feeling of betrayal, you've got betrayal, backstabbing. I'll teach you a lesson. I'm going to take my stuff and go, and I'll get back. I'm going to get back on you on that one. New day that's coming.
Trump's all about revenge.
Yeah, I haven't paid too much attention to that story, but yeah, he might be a little bit more upset than I realize.
Yeah, they're threatening secondary sanctions on whoever purchases Russian oil, additional sanctions on Russia.
That's okay. The falling out between these two is going to lead to all sorts of Trump compromise being released.
Well, exactly. So, would you like to ask that question? I was going to ask, so what ultimately comes from this? Maybe you could ask on the compromise.
Sure.
Okay, so what's ultimately going to come from this little tiff that these lovers are having? Will they pass it up?
Go ahead and pause the video. Go fill up your cup of coffee here. You're 13 minutes into it. You're probably near the bottom and need a quick little freshener.
Okay, so how is this going to resolve itself? So you start with the Empress, which could be Mother Russia. I'm just going to do a four-parter. It could also be, Trump thinking, hey, United States, we have everything. We have all the great things here. It could also be Ukraine, which is the breadbasket. Okay, so you got, so I think we're going to be locking horns. This is about Mother Russia being in top, Trump worrying about his legacy, trying to show strength. Wow. The world is watching.
Couple major arcana there, huh?
Yeah, exactly. End of a cycle. And then the Page of Swords. Fight, fight, fight. Oh, boy. I mean, I could go so many different ways with this. I mean,
how about you got a lot of female cards on there. You've got the Empress, which is like a pregnant mother card. Yep. You've got a woman that's in control of the situation. Mm-hmm. You got the World card. I think it could be an event closing as well as worldwide events. Then you got the Page of Swords, which is a young person that's enthusiastic but not skilled.
Yes.
Or just not skilled.
My gut feeling looking at this is neither one of those two morons is going to back down, because they're both cut from the same cloth. They always have to show strength, right, and willingness to fight. And this is their world. For Putin, he wants to reestablish the USSR. For Trump, he wants to end this conflict, and he wants to start grifting. And the world is watching, and it's all about Trump's legacy. I don't think either is going to back down on this. That's just my gut feeling. It's just the two egos are just completely at odds with each other.
Okay. Um, I want basically, if Trump becomes adversarial with Putin, do the secrets start coming out? Does the compromise start coming out?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when you serve no more purpose.
Yep.
What does Putin care if he can humiliate you along the way and put egg in the face of Americans? He'll do it. Why not? What's going to happen? Will compromise come out when Putin no longer has need for Donald Trump?
Let's pray
Two
for
of
the
coins.
part.
Yeah, there will be, but for maximum discomfort, and not all at once. Dribs and deciding which will come out first. Dribs and drabs, and it's going to be stuff that, yeah, you know. Here we go. People are going to find out distasteful things about you. There's strength card again. One of the things I was thinking of the strength card was the leverage that Putin has over Trump. He thought you were supposed to keep your mouth shut. You couldn't keep your mouth shut. Here we go. In the past, Trump's lack of integrity is going to be on display. Here's that new journey. God, some of these cards looking familiar. When Putin has no more need for Trump, that's when the new stuff starts happening here. You know, it's going to be, it's going to be tied to Trump. Stuff with women, stuff like that. Trump is going to be hostage to whatever Putin's releasing. That's going to okay. So I guess I know what's happening with Trump and Putin. That's going to lead as Trump abandons Putin, as Trump is less useful to Putin. Putin starts to reveal stuff about Trump's behavior. That starts a new dynamic in their relationship, and Putin's stuck with Trump, but Trump is stuck with Putin, and that's going to lead to that separation that's going on there.
That's funny. That was because that was your outcome card.
Yeah. And then there's the Three of Cups, the celebration, the the womanizing, the turn the cup upside down and have the golden showers type thing. I think there's going to be revelations about women, drug use or intoxication stuff.
That's funny because I don't think Trump actually drinks, does he?
That's what he claims.
Okay.
And maybe he doesn't. But,
now drug use on the other hand.
The cups aren't necessarily drinking as the only vice.
Yeah. Well, Don Jr. certainly made up for a lot of the vices Don Sr. might not have.
Well, that's just there's a pot calling the kettle black when he talks about exactly. Hunter Biden's a convicted drug using felon. Yeah, so we've got you want the conviction and the felon part, huh? Don't throw stones in a glass house, Junior. Yeah. You're not exactly clean, Mr.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something that normal people don't do.
Yes. Yeah. For those of you who are normal and don't understand what that is, that was basically Don Jr. extending his cocaine high just a little bit longer. Just rubbing a little bit of white powder on his. It's probably Pepsodent, actually, for entertainment purposes only. A little Pepsodent on the gum to make his breath and teeth shiny and white.
Anything else to throw on this one?
What's that? Yeah, I think that's all we got.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching this video and supporting the channel. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, if you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. I read them all and respond to many.
All right. And do you have anything?
What's that?
Go ahead. Trample over the line I was going to throw. No, you go. You go.
No, really. You first. You're the right amount of
salty. It's already 20 minutes long. Go.
We give shout outs to our viewers, unlike those other Twin Tarot by Gary.
Just don't even bother watching the Bargain Brand Twin Tarot channel.
Hey, so Tammy West and former President Grumpy requested this shout out.
Oh, is that one or two cards?
It's up to you.
Well, we've got the Six of Cups, and I'll give you the bonus card, the Eight of Swords. They're stuck with us. Sorry.
And how about a shout out for Richard Keys? Because He wrote down the entire beginning of The Prisoner, the whole dialogue. Really? Oh yeah, I can read it to you.
That's okay.
Okay, but he did write it. I will send it to you. He did a great job. Yeah,
Page of Swords. You got to come up with different ways to escape the island, the village.
And then Jeeper Skip, Amy Sanders said, since we threw 2 readings at her and kept her up all night with these 2 readings, she would like a shout out.
Okay. There you go. Well, we'll make them faster. Maybe if we can make them 10-minute readings, you won't be up nearly as long.
Well, they were both short readings, that's for sure. Okay, and a card for the rest of us. The Magician. It's just magic that we've actually gotten through this in 21 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good morning. Have a good night. We'll catch you on the next video.
Yeah, bye.